So now that we've talked about linear equations, we're going to take a little bit of time now to look at what are called linear inequalities. More specifically, linear inequalities involving just one variable. And there are two main things that we're going to want to do. The first one is we want to graph the solution for an inequality. Now our inequalities are going to involve these symbols here. Their names are greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to. Now as we have these symbols though, even though the first one is the greater than symbol, that's if we're typically reading from left to right. If we twist this around though and read from right to left, which we could do, we could read this instead of 5 greater than 3, that's this way, we could go from 3 less than 5, reading it backwards. And so even though this is called the greater than symbol, we can read it, depending on which direction we're reading it, as greater than or less than, depending on whether we read from right to left or as we normally do from left to right. Though for our purposes we're going to typically just stick with left to right. So what we want to look at now is how do we graph inequalities. So let's consider an example. Here we have the inequality greater than 5. The key is to use what's called a number line. So we plot our value on a number line. So there he is, 5. Now this inequality does not have the bar. The bar underneath is to indicate equality. So we're not including 5. So when we go to our number line, we need to put an open circle there. That's indicating that 5 is not part of the answer. And then we want to be greater than 5, so we're going to shade everything that is above 5. And so that would be our solution on the number line. X greater than 5 would be everything above 5 on the number line. Consider the inequality x less than or equal to negative 2. X less than or equal to negative 2. Again, we draw our number line and we mark off our 2. Negative 2 in this case. Now because this inequality has a bar underneath it, when it comes to the negative 2, we're going to make that a solid circle. And then since it's less than, we want to shade everything beneath negative 2. So x less than or equal to negative 2 would be on the number line, everything below and including the negative 2. Another example here, consider x greater than or equal to 2. So just like before, we draw our number line, mark our point on it. Because of the bar, we make a solid circle. And then because it's greater than 2, bigger than, we would shade everything above the 2. And we have one last example we want to look at. This is a situation where it's what's called a compound or combined inequality, where we have actually two inequalities. 3 is less than or equal to x, which is less than 7. So in other words, x has to be between 3 and 7. So when we draw our number line this time, we're going to mark both those values, 3 and 7, on our number line. Because the 3 has a bar, we're going to mark that with a solid circle. Because the 7 does not have a bar on that symbol that's connecting it with the x, we make an open circle. And then here we're going to shade everything in between. Okay, so that's the first idea, is given an inequality that's already written in the form x greater than or less than something, we want to be able to graph that on a number line.